This is supposed to be a debate based on fact and truth. And the truth and the fact is Joe Biden has been very clear. He will not raise taxes on anybody who makes less than $400,000 a year.
He said he's going to repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic vice presidential nominee Senator Kamala Harris just finished their one and only debate in this election season. Three important things worth saying about this debate. First of all, they managed to have a more serious, substantive, and civilized conversation than their bosses, President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden, did last week.
Senator, I want to thank you and Joe Biden for your expressions of genuine concern.
Second, I think both Vice President Pence and Senator Harris managed to accomplish their main task in this debate, which was to look like plausible presidents in case circumstances require that. And that's really important in a campaign in which the two nominees are a 77-year-old man in the case of Joe Biden, and in the case of President Trump, a 74-year-old man who recently contracted coronavirus. These two people needed to look like plausible presidents, and I think they cleared that bar. But third, I think this will be remembered above all as the coronavirus debate.
The American people have witnessed what is the greatest failure of any presidential administration in the history of our country.
Democrats and Senator Harris view the administration's handling of the coronavirus as kind of a metaphor for the entire Trump presidency.
And here are the facts. 210,000 dead people in our country in just the last several months. Over 7 million people who have contracted this disease.
For his part, Vice President Pence started with the defense that the president took the most important and the toughest step.
President Donald Trump did what no other American president had ever done, and that was he suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world.
Vice President Pence argued that the plan the Biden-Harris ticket puts forward to combat the coronavirus if they win the election looks an awful lot like what the Trump administration is already doing.
It looks a little bit like plagiarism.
You know, one reason that the Democrats like to bring up the coronavirus is they also use it as a way to enter a conversation about the broader subject of health care that the Trump administration wants to eliminate Obamacare during the pandemic.
If you have a pre-existing condition, heart disease, diabetes, breast cancer, they're coming for you. If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition, they're coming for you. If you are under the age of 26 on your parents' coverage, they're coming for you.
Now, one other subject of note that's going to be remembered from this debate is the Supreme Court.
Are you and Joe Biden going to pack the court?
Vice President Pence, like President Trump last week, managed to point out that the Democratic ticket does not want to say whether or not it supports a plan to expand the size of the Supreme Court and change the ideological makeup of the court.
Re-elect President Donald Trump, and we'll stand by that separation of powers in a 9-seat Supreme Court.
Yeah, let's talk about packing the court then.
This is an idea that is pushed by progressives in the Democratic Party, and the Biden-Harris ticket does not want to offend them by opposing it, but it also doesn't want to support it publicly because that scares some centrist Democrats and independent voters, so it's avoided taking a position, something Vice President Pence brought out during the debate, and something you'll be hearing more about in the weeks to come.